Welcome back to the Gender Economics ECO 431. Well, this is our first video lecture. I should also mention that this is first time, this week and last week, but were the first time I am recording a video lecture, so well, I might be a little bit amateur in doing that for now, and if I have made mistakes, I hope you will understand that. Anyway, I'm in my living room now, and this is the living room. If you want to see, I'm planning to make a general cleaning after this video is over, before I record another video for another course, actually, Marxian Economics. But anyway, well, today we will cover the gender, the economics of intimate partner violence. This is our first topic. Well, first topic that will be covered by video lecture, and it will the lecture will be separated into different parts. I hope 5, maybe 6, depending on the time I will spend. So this is the first part of this lecture, Economics of Intimate Partner Violence. And I should mention that intimate partner violence is a topic which has a kind of history for me. Well, as you might all know, well, some of you who might be basically at least familiar with the political movement might know, say, intimate partner violence is the violence between any kind of partners, which might be married or not married. Domestic violence is the violence within the house, which might include not only partner relations, but also elderly children relations, which might be violence against children by parents, but also violence against parents, maybe elderly parents, by children might be included in that. But intimate partner violence doesn't include that, so it mainly, not always, it also includes the homosexual couples, but mainly it is between the man and woman, basically. Well, when I was studying in the University of Utah, actually, we had a very famous feminist economist, Nilüfer Çağatay, and she actually, we were talking about the feminist economics, and I said, are there any more problems with regarding to the economics for the related to the gender inequality? I was recognizing there were many issues in the United States related to gender inequality, but economics was seen as a more limited area for me, and that's why I asked the question. And she told me there are several issues, including the intimate partner violence, and I said, well, what has intimate partner violence to do with the economics? And she said, well, maybe you should take my course. And well, that's a memory, and kind of this lecture is I should dedicate to Nilüfer Çağatay, because now I'm covering economics of intimate partner violence. Basically, it's intimate partner violence and health, the topic, because in the end we will also cover the access of the people to the health. And economics of intimate partner violence and health is mostly like the application of the previous, what we have seen in the previous lecture, where we have seen the family relations, economic relations within the family, to a practical issue. How those economic relations are related and affecting the power relations between man and woman. That's what economics of intimate partner violence is actually showing. And like everything else in the feminist economics, which is an incredible field in that sense, in my opinion, there is discussion on this issue. There are not definite benchmarked explanations. but there is a discussion, and there are discussions on every different aspect of it: methodology, the definitions, and the effects, how to look to those effects. But at the end of this class, maybe you won't have different answers, but I hope you will have some answers, and you might have also besides those answers also some more questions, basically. Anyway, like always, this course is going well through the articles, but before that, I have basically put a video on the psychology of the domestic violence, where basically kind of, well, if anyone is might be well experiencing violence, in that case you might let that person watch that video, and it shows how the people sometimes with sufficient even economic power and sufficient level of education might basically fall victim to the domestic violence. Of course, we might still ask economics of who is, even with economic power, why people are falling to the becoming victims of the domestic violence, and are there some other factors that are also forming this psychology is a question. But we are leaving this question aside, and in this video you might basically focus on purely on the psychology of the domestic violence, and I think that's an important aspect of domestic violence. And even though our main subject is economics, it is important for the people to see also this video. That's why I have put this video. Of course, I'm not playing it here. You can watch this video yourself. Anyway, let's continue. So, we have 4 articles today. First one is the Buenos article, which is kind of a nice article to start the analysis, although it doesn't address one of the important potential problems that can be related to the domestic violence. Testing or making an empirical research on domestic violence. There is a common problem when you do that, and it doesn't address that problem very successfully, in my opinion. It is basically conducted in the Dominican Republic. The second one, basically, this will be the last one. This one, Lenze article, but Lenze and Klassen has actually written this article. It is conducted on Jordan, and this one addresses this endogeneity problem, and it has interesting solutions again. Both of them are testing how economic conditions of the woman is affecting the likelihood of experiencing intimate partner violence, and the results are fixed and maybe in some sense also surprising. Here there are other articles like these, by the way, and they have different results. If you are interested, read the literature review sections of these articles, where you can get idea on other research done in this area. But these 2 articles I have chosen because they have interesting results, even considering with the rest of the literature. And then I have Heimanti article. Heimanti was actually Heimanti Bhattacharya. I cannot pronounce her family name. She was actually a faculty member in the University of Utah, my university. But I never got a course from her, and I did not know her very well, basically. But the research she did is interesting. It is on the spousal violence and women's employment, where she basically looks how the intimate partner violence is affecting women's employment. So not how economic conditions of women is affecting spousal violence, but the vice versa thing. So that's actually basically one of the reasons why your actual analysis might be problematic. Basically, because not only the economic relations are necessarily affecting intimate partner violence, but intimate partner violence might also affect the economic relations or economic conditions of women and economic relations within the family. So, lastly, this one is done in India. The second one was done in Jordan, the Middle Eastern country, Jordan. And the last one, which is Oduro. No, this one is the one we will not cover. Last one, Lenze, is basically. I'm sorry. By the way, yes, this one, Findorff. This one is basically on the Rwandan mutual health insurance scheme and gender disparity access to it. Basically, it has looked to a state governmental health insurance program in Rwanda, and it looked who has access to this scheme, and it concentrates on, although it looks also to the other aspects, it concentrates on whether gender is playing a role in having access to this mutual health insurance scheme. And there they look to the specifically access of the male-headed households and female-headed households. Well, usually female-headed households are rare in most countries because we assume if there is a male and female man is leading the household, if there are both men and women. But only if there is no the family doesn't have an adult man, we assume the family is led by the woman mother. But in Rwanda, because of the civil war, many families had actually lost their adult man. So actually, there were many, in fact, families with female-headed households, basically. So this article looks whether those families have a higher access to this health insurance, maybe because they are poorer and they need more. Or a lower access to the health insurance, maybe again because they have less connections. So there is one article we won't cover, but if you are interested, that's Oduro. It looks also women's wealth and intimate partner violence in Ecuador and Ghana, Africa and Latin America. We won't cover it, but if you're interested, that's another fifth article you might look on this topic. So, I'm ending the first part of this lecture. See you in the second part of this lecture.